Good evening and welcome to Slam the Gavel, the show that tells all regarding family court, criminal court, and other court issues, as well as CPS. I am your host, Maryann Petri. You can find me, my books, and blogs on dismantlingfamilycourtcorruption.com. And if you have a tale to tell, you're also welcome to contact me there as well at dismantlingfamilycourtcorruption.com. I'm happy to have a return guest on. I have Francesca Amato. She was on season 3, episode 163. And also another season and episode that I'm trying to locate, but it is there. She is the author of 3 books. Fran, Punished for Protecting is one. And the second book is I Survived a Narcissist, You Can Too. And that is the Punished for Protecting sequel. And the third book is The System That Fooled a Nation, Sophisticated Child Trafficking. And the cover is really beautiful. By the way, I was meaning to tell you, but we're here. We're going to talk about a bill that Fran has put together, and you can find it on Facebook. It covers all 50 states. Tell me some more. And how long did this take?
My goodness, Maryann, first of all, thank you for having me back again. And
Sure.
well, I've been working on this specific bill for 2 years. As you know, I've been doing this work throughout the country for now. My goodness, I can't even believe it's pushing almost 18 years. This is insane. And it's because of what I've witnessed. I mean, we have a lot of successes as non-attorneys getting children back or not having them taken, and that blesses my heart. But it's the ones that live right here in our hearts that we just grieve over every day because we don't get them back. And we know that this should never be happening in the first place. So I said, with lots of prayer, I said, I got to do something. Like, this has got to end. This can't happen. This is affecting the mental health and the health and welfare of a nation's children and their families. So, and all these years, I do have a multifaceted expert background. I did suffer from the family court myself. As an advocate, I was retaliated by a judge. That's where the first book came from. And fortunately, and by the grace of God, I got my son back within eight months.
And you were lucky.
But not unscathed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And the judge came back at me a second time, actually, just like psychotic behavior. But I've always known, because I've done a deep dive into what's lawful versus what's illegal. And as an award-winning legal advocate, I said, these laws are good. People try to change laws and make new laws. And that's understandable because they don't realize that our laws are good. It's the courts that are corrupt. The courts from 1962, when they established this nonsense, which is treason on American soil, which was established without the vote of the people, they did a kingship over us, like as if we're their servants and their peasants. And we just go to them and they dictate to us. And when you get stuck in the vortex of family court, they remove the Constitution, the Articles of Human Rights, and the Americans with Disability Act, which I'm a forensic expert. And you have to train them as we go along. It's just ridiculous because they're not trained. Most of it's corruption, but a lot of it is incompetence. So I said, I've got to get this bill out, and it's over 80 pages. It's, I think, 44 sections, and we go after the head of every single bit of corruption that I could actually think of over my years of court watching judges all over this country.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Because I've been court watching, and I always tell people, please fill out your judicial complaints when you see the judge misbehave. I mean, this is from August 22nd, and I'm going to fill it out and put it into an affidavit, make a copy, and send it in. And court watchers must do that. But with this bill, when do you have cameras in the courtrooms in this bill as well?
Oh yeah. More than that, body cameras on every official part of the court system, cameras in the court itself for public access. Oh yeah, we cover. I mean, there's not a thing I don't cover, and I've done some deep dive research, and I've checked my sections in my bill, and there's never been anything like this, not even on a state level, not even a section of this bill on even a state level that anybody has out there. This is going to stop the nightmare. it's going to stop the nightmare. Once it's enacted, and I'm determined to get this bill enacted, I have a whole strategy ready to go that we've
Oh,
already implemented a little over a month ago when I first introduced it. I've got families coming in the hundreds of thousands from all over the entire country. So the victims are becoming the victors, and that's what's happening here. Okay,
oh
they've had
yeah.
enough. The families have had enough. And
Yes.
this is it. You can sink your teeth into it. You can come with me to Congress the third week of October, and we're doing what we have to do. We have experts coming. We have families giving testimonies. I've even got kids now that are going to be the face of this movement to say we've had enough of this crap. We're not tolerating it anymore.
So you said the third week of October. Do you have the
Yes.
dates nailed down yet or
I
no?
don't have the exact date for the congressional hearing room, but when I do, there will be a public knowledge of that.
Uh,
And we do Wednesday nights at 7:30 p.m. There's an open to the public Zoom meeting that's all over my Facebook page. And then we have private groups because obviously a lot of it has to be kept private because there are advocacy groups out there that don't want this to pass because let's face it, it'll stop their financial flow. I don't care about that. As you know,
mm,
this is a financial sacrifice and a life sacrifice when
mhm.
you're helping families at this level. And the work involved it's like having 20 jobs in one, it's a
Oh,
lot. So
right. And I saw that. I'm looking at your bill. So the foster care issue, which I think is very deadly because CPS and foster care kind of go hand in hand.
100% they do. Yeah. Yeah. And the
You know,
judge.
um, now getting rid of them, is that a possibility? I'm trying to, I had it on here and I'm scrolling around
Uh,
and
what,
my
sec-
eyes are
what,
bad.
that's okay. Do you know what section you're in specifically? Because I do talk about foster care throughout the bill.
It was two. I thought it was in wait a minute, um, section two. Or wait a minute.
I know the first section is where we strip them of a judicial immunity and we strip the players of their immunity because the immunity
Right,
has packaged into, the 1962 Family Court Act that they did without the will of the people, without the vote of the people. And then they put in there that immunity that's been nothing but a complete danger. So we talk about elimination of immunity in section 3. We
okay.
talk about, and section 1 actually, and then
Yes.
we talk about, let me see, accountability of state actors, which includes the foster care system. It includes CPS. It includes the judges. It includes the child attorneys. It includes the guardian ad litem. All of these people that make up the abuse to families.
Right.
Um, so yeah, but and it's kind of intermingled throughout the entire bill because
Hmm.
in other words, each section supports the abuses and the corruption and what they're doing and how they're violating the rights.
Exactly. And I like the part where at 4.21, there's financial compensation
Yes.
and A, compensatory damages.
Yeah.
Lost years of family connection and caregiving, which is, we'll never get this back,
You'll never get, they cannot pay you enough money, but it's worth to get money out of them. It's
Right.
definitely worth to take what I call the wealth of the wicked given back to the just. It's definitely worth it because there's two things that they're doing while they abuse your families and children. They're number one, getting lots of money, and number two, I believe it's a child trafficking industry. So those two evils, you know,
Oh, yeah.
it's time for recompense for all these families. And
I,
and no statute of limitations and being able to bring it back to the inception of your cases where they started the abuse in the first place.
that's excellent. That's excellent because when I went to file my federal case, it's like I was only 3 weeks off. I'm not kidding you. And I went to an attorney who just did a federal case maybe 6 weeks prior. Yeah, and he won. And so I wanted him. And he said, "No, you're past your statutes of limitation." It's like, wait a minute, but I've had a heart attack.
Yeah.
That's
All
within
the
our,
injury, all the injury.
right. But he didn't want to take it. I did all the legwork
So,
for him.
so that's part of the issue right there. I mean, it's the Bar Association telling you that we're not going to sue the Bar Association. So I have a whole section on the Bar Association and the history of the Bar Association and how it's corrupt and how it's another form of treason on American soil. So we go after the Bar Association, we go after the Department of Justice. Okay, I
Uh-huh.
talk about that. So I'm hitting everything. This is 18 years of work
Right.
saying this is illegal, this is illegal, this is illegal, this is illegal. We're going to go after it. We're not tolerating this anymore. You're not abusing families, keeping them in bondage to the system. Okay, so when an attorney tells you that, no, I can tell you as the way my legal mind thinks, and I can tell you as a legal advocate, not an attorney, I'm not a bar member.
Oh, I'm not either. No.
I can, yeah, this full disclaimer here. I can tell you right now that you do have a lawsuit. Of course you would. Common sense tells you have a lawsuit. Okay, and injury law attorneys should be taking these cases, but they don't, because once you're family court involved, you become a non-citizen or something.
Pariah. You turn into pariah. They don't even want to. Yeah.
Yep.
So now hopefully this bill will get passed because it's just really, really covers all the bases. I like, as you know, I would like to see CPS gone.
Oh yeah, 100%. Child predator services, family court judges. See, CPS doesn't have the power that they steal and have, because they're supposed to answer to a court order and a warrant. I have all of that in it, including the law enforcement. I have a whole section on law enforcement, that they are not allowed to aid and abet a crooked judge's unconstitutional custody order, or they will be held liable for it. And everyone will be held liable. Either you can sue them at this point, or hold them criminally liable all the way up to prison, with the actual statutes and so on and so forth that goes with those types of crimes.
Right, because this is also, I'm going to say something crazy, but like they're supporting attempted murder on a lot of these parents and children.
100%.
And
100%.
Right. And I was talking to another parent, and they said, why don't you go after the judge for attempted murder because of my heart attack? And it's like, well, if I could get someone to do the case, that'd be great. I'd give it a shot. But, so
the thing is that we're going to be able to go retroactive. So back and forward, you know what I mean? So people have to understand that once this bill is enacted, and when there's going to be a whole new set of work for everybody that does this type of work. Guys, advocacy is work. Just to let you know.
Yeah.
People don't think, I don't know what it's an 8 day a week, 25-hour a day, nonstop job. Okay.
Yes.
On top of it, you're carrying people with you all day long in your heart. So it's more than that.
Oh, yes.
So, but to say that is that now you'll be able to go back and go after them for all the damages. And what price tag can you put on that, Maryann?
No.
When they take your children away and they don't have a jury trial, we have a whole thing on that too.
Right.
Okay?
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I see the part with judicial and state accountability, 4.2.3.
Yeah.
And
Sorry for the
let me
background
see.
noise.
I know the noises.
Right.
Tell her to be quiet. But when you get this enacted,
Yep.
how do you federally get these people to actually abide by it? Because there's laws there that they should be abiding by, like the custodial interference laws that have been on the books for 40 years, and these policemen aren't even trained in the police academy. They are clueless, just like the movie. And what do you do? You've got this, let's say this bill will be passed. How do you enforce it federal?
I'm gonna answer that because there's kind of two questions in there. Well, as I heard it, and I want to touch on something very important. My years of doing this, children are placed with abusers. Okay, and mostly it's been protective mothers, but protective moms and dads don't have access to their children, because I feel like as soon as the court hears that there's abuse with evidence, because I do this all over the country, so I clearly see the evidence, they go to the abuser. Okay. Right. The children are sent to the abuser. Why? Because the good parent's going to keep fighting, and they know that that's the money maker. Okay.
Yep.
With saying that, my bill is very balanced scales. My bill protects, how do I explain it? Because you're asking where they're custodial interference. There's custodial interference because a parent is protecting their child from abuse, and the court is ordering the child into the abuser's care.
Right.
And the most horrible things are happening to children. So there has to be a balance to that. It can't just be restrictive to, okay, custodial interference, let's put that mom in jail and put that dad in jail for protecting. We got to be very careful with how we word things and remember, we're stripping the power from these people. Okay, we're putting it back into the hands of the families where it belongs.
Right.
So you got to look at the verbiage, how I've done it. It will give you peace, and it will give you vindication that what's happened to families that didn't deserve this, it doesn't happen. And how I handled that also was that false allegations, if they're false, you'll think twice before alleging something, because you could go to jail for it.
Good.
Your attorney must say to you, are you sure you want me to present this? Because you can go to jail for this. They'll think twice, right? Now,
Right.
if you're forthright and you know that you're not falsely accusing somebody, then you can feel peace about presenting that.
Right.
And on
Right.
the other side of that, when there's real abuse, okay, you are taking that to a criminal court, not a family court.
I know.
This is going to balance
Yes.
it out on both sides now. It's going to stop the false allegations, and it's going to criminalize the real abuse. And you're going to stop placing children with these abusers, because what I've seen is unbelievable. The amount of children that are being emmed and SUS, and I won't even say, and all the other things that are happening and regressing. And, the protective parent is being supervised, and they're watching their child deteriorate in front of their eyes. And
Yes.
they can't do anything about it, but they're still blaming that parent for whatever they're blaming, and calling it alienation and calling it names that it's absolutely not. They're protecting their child, and they're not
Right.
allowed to do that anymore. And this is dangerous to our country. So there's
Right.
that. And then the part of the question that you asked me about enacting. So it is when you draft a bill, once it gets sponsored, and then you go through some of the committees to fight it. Basically, we're not tolerating anything where every single layer will be exactly like we the people want it. Okay, they work for us, not the other way around. And
Right.
and because of my years of work, I'm not doing it the normal way people pass bills. Okay, I have a strategy with hundreds of thousands of people supporting this strategy. Okay, which without giving too much info publicly,
Okay.
let's just say I have a strategy that's going to, and massive media attention that's never been done before. We can say that much. Okay.
Okay.
So it's when I decided to do this, it was the Lord, because I'm a very strong Christian. I have a very real faith in God, and he said to me, you're going to bring in the victims, and they're going to be the ones that are going to fight this with you. And they're coming in. I don't get sleep anymore. It's been like, literally, I fell asleep in my chair yesterday while working, and I had to check my calendar and think, who's next?
Yeah.
It's to that point, and it's only been a month. Okay. So this should really encourage the audience. Come find me on Facebook, help us, be a volunteer. I've got 50 states, because you asked me before the interview if I have a page for this. I have 50 pages for this. Every state: Hawaii, California, New York, New Jersey, Ohio, Utah. If you don't see a state, we need more team leaders to which we are literally training people as we go, as if I don't have enough to do. And and this is what we're doing, and they're coming in droves. And I got to tell you, we've had one or two little problems here and there along the way with certain people that try to snake in, but everybody's getting along beautifully. There's agreement. You can go look on social media. You're going to see videos all over the place. You're going to see the Family Justice and Accountability Act all over social media. People are encouraged. They're empowered. We've got the ear of, right now, we've got the ear of about 20 different Congress members. I just had a meeting earlier with a Congress member. We're really shaking and moving. So once it's enacted, generally you pick an amount of days for it to be implemented throughout the states, and then they have to follow that law. They have to. And I shouldn't even say law, because I'm literally not writing a new law. I'm enforcing the laws that we already have. And what the people have to understand is that it's so sad that all this has gone on as long as it has, and the damage is done, because we are fighting for rights we already have.
That's sad. If you think about it, it's like
The damages.
yeah. And so I know for instance, with the custodial interference laws or the penal codes and all that, some states are trying to enforce it, not Texas maybe, but is it really happening? I don't know what's really going on within their police departments. You may not know
I can
either.
tell you, what I can tell you from this is just, I can only tell you from firsthand experience of what I see in the courts with all my clients, and I have clients all over the country. And what I see with the cases is every time, hands down, no fail, when a parent is protective and of a genuine situation, they don't care that when the abuser has either full or unfettered access type of custody, whatever they do, the judge just turns a blind eye to it. So no, if you want to talk about it in the right context, because again, it's always about protecting the children, genuinely protecting them, which the courts don't do. They do the opposite. The court does the opposite. They get their rocks when they know a child's being abused. The court gets their rocks off on it.
Right.
Bottom line, these are sick individuals.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, big time. So to answer that question on the right side of things, okay, that if a parent is genuine custodial interference where they're not letting the protective parent have access to the children, then no, they're not following that at all. I've seen it too many times, and they wait till the children age out, and they destroy the relationship between the child and that parent, and the child now has either Stockholm syndrome or the child is completely brainwashed by the abuser. Okay, the abuser, because it's the abuser. And here's the thing too, is that you have to be very discerning and wise and understand what's happening, because an abuser can look like the innocent person and the innocent person can look like the abuser.
Oh, especially when they're crying on the witness stand.
Yeah. And meanwhile, and I talk about this a lot too, is that people with addiction issues, in which I help, and I love to help people, but people with addiction issues, many times, I never punched my wife in the head. I never did such and such. Well, when you were drunk and high, you did, but that's not the person you may not be when you're sober. But when you're that person and you're under the influence of substance abuse, you're abusive. And unless somebody records you and shows you how you actually are, you think you're perfectly fine. And then when you've got an addict judge, okay, and a judge that does cocaine and alcohol, whatever they do, and I know this for a fact, they're going to defend you because they've got the same problems you have. So when the innocent person comes along, that's not that person, and they want to protect their children, they're estranged from their children. It's insane. It's insane.
Right. And these judges and attorneys, they get to go home to their families and have a beautiful Christmas and Easter and Thanksgiving. And here, this protective parent, target parent, however you want to call it, they're given no contact orders. Like I was given a no contact order, and that includes Mother's Day. So I'm sure he was doing that to dads, because when I was talking to my counselor at the time, she said, look, you're not the only person that was damaged by Judge Robert Sambrook. And I can't imagine, but that's another podcast.
That's all I see over the years. I've got lots of fathers that are running states for me that are doing phenomenal work. And, we vet everybody. We, once in a while we miss it, but we vet everybody. And these dads, one of the things the litmus test I kind of use, if you want to put it that way, is that like any dads that come to me, if they don't have their children, I know they're not an abuser, because it's the abusive fathers that are getting the custody.
Right.
Okay. And I'm not going to say that it's always that way, but highest percentage is what's happening. Okay. And they don't have access to their children. So, because I'm telling you, the court is pro-abuser. Bottom line, we wouldn't be in this situation if it wasn't true. Look at New York State alone. We had 3 moms, right? And then last year we had Catherine Kavanaugh.
Kasanoff, yep.
Katanoff, sorry, Catherine Kavanaugh, attorney, Catherine Kavanaugh.
And a federal attorney at that.
Federal attorney, right? She took herself to Sweden so she could be put to sleep. And then recently we had Lizzie with the what we believe is something different than S, right? M. Right. And that's just New York State, okay? Let's not talk about the countless children and what's going on with them. So how is family court helpful? How? Tell me. You'll never convince me, because I know, and I don't even go by the statistics that people tell me, because I know better. It's actually in my second book. You got to read the second book, because I have my own statistics in there from years of actual experience. Wow. Okay. Yeah. And with the statistic that they tell you about the one parent household, the child's going to foam from the mouth. The child's not going to be able to read. The child's going to be in prison. Yeah. That's foster care. Okay. The one parent household, mom having millions of them. Okay. And dad having a one parent household, children fare better. Social science research will prove it, in a one parent, safe, stable, loving home. Okay, that's not happening. And churches are telling this to people. That is not true. That because we all support, we don't want to see the fatherless home. Okay, but we don't want to see the abusive father home either. Okay, and the same thing. And when you talk about that being a bad thing, how much worse? Just think about this: is the motherless home. There's nothing worse than a motherless home. And even the bonding of a child with a mother, this is proven. The fact that a mother carries their grandchildren when they carry their children, there's something extremely sacred there. I come from a family with way more men. I'm Italian, way more
Me
men
too.
than my cousins and all my cousins and so on and so forth. Way more men than women.
Right.
They're all upstanding husbands and fathers, and they're just upstanding. Okay, and they would never hit a woman, and like there's no comparison. So I love men, I honor men, I respect men, I respect marriage, I respect husbands and wives, I respect the sanctity of marriage and family and covenant. But when you have an abuser in a home, by proxy, your children are going to be destroyed. And when a judge orders them into the hand of an abuser, or back and forth from a good parent to an abuser, good parent to abuser, you are creating the next generation of problems. Period.
Yes.
And this is happening through family court.
Can I say something horrible? Okay, so
Isn't that all we're talking about?
no.
Horrible.
Well, okay. I know they're pushing, the people to have kids, have more kids, have more kids. It's like, no, don't. Just don't until we get
Isn't
this
it sad?
straightened out. Yes. I mean,
They just want you to have more kids so that they can have your kids.
right. These foster parents go on lavish vacations. They're driving very nice cars, and they call these kids their Denali payments.
Preach it. You
Yeah.
got it.
So that has to end. And there's also double dipping issues with this foster care, as you know. I mean, you know all this. With the federal funding, the Title 4E, and if the child is also disabled, they're getting disability benefits on top of the Title 4E.
They go after the disabled children. They create disabilities. They're creating disabilities. So all of this is covered in the bill. Going after the 4D funding, the 4E funding, ASFA, I go after all of it in the bill. I go after gag orders in the bill because they're unconstitutional and illegal, completely on their face. I go after that. But the most wonderful part of all of this is the recompense to families and the fact that you can not only sue them, but you can criminally charge them from the judge on down to every single imp that they work together, all of them.
So even my case, even though the judge thankfully died in 2017, but then
Thankfully.
then I ended up with another loser because
They just grow a different head.
the opposing attorney chipped into his daughter's judge campaign. So they were like this. So I lost that custody. And all the kids wanted was 50-50 like we had been for 10 years. So are you
Yeah, I
saying,
remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, so are you saying hopefully this bill will pass, and could I go after everybody then too, or
Go
not?
after everybody because I intentionally put that in because so as a forensic ADA advocate, people don't while you're in constant trauma, okay, make it like layman's, people don't remember what's happened to them. Some stuff is suppressed. So until you kind of come to and be like, wait a minute, what just happened to me? And now you've got clarity, you've had some time to heal, okay? That's all incorporated in the bill, obviously in federal codification language and attached with social science research and showing the injury that happens along the way. All of that is suable, okay? All of that. So I have it set where there'd be no statute of limitation. And of course, I have a short period of time here to explain an 80-something page bill.
Oh, yeah.
You have to take your time and read it,
right.
Line upon line and see how everything is spelled out in there with all the proper federal laws and so it basically shows you that no, there can't be a statute of limitation here because of the way the injury is factored in and because of what they did to a perfectly normal, healthy person or an abuse victim. Okay. And then now what's happened to you? And because what happens is psychological injury becomes physiological injury, becomes physical injury, becomes heart attacks and cancer. And Dr. Bandy explains this, like when you see her awesome speech, it kind of really works well with the speech I gave at the New York State Assembly a few years ago, only she's giving the medical side of it. You know what I'm saying? And it really merged together really well. So there'd be no statute of limitation on that, and it's actually I put that into the bill. So I have all the congressional findings throughout the bill as well. So I didn't leave anything out on purpose.
Yeah, I mean, because when you first sent it to me, it's like, oh, this is really good. This is really good. This
Glad you
something
like
has to
it.
get. And if you're taking, I don't know how many parents, what the figures are that you're going to go down to Washington.
Well, the room only fits 450. Way more than that is coming.
Oh,
We're
well,
coming. We're coming.
well, the more the merrier. And
More the merrier. You're all welcome. Please come.
is Stand with Meg
Yeah.
with you on this, and she's supporting the bill.
Yeah, she did a whole page, so you can go to her website and literally click through and get to me, or you can go directly to my pro. It's easier to get me on Facebook because that's where we have everybody.
Right,
There's reasons because literally we are so overwhelmed. I'm in demand to begin with in my work schedule for clients, and now we have 50 states of volunteers that we are doing, for the bill. So what we do is I have 3 Facebook pages that say my name, Francesca Amato.
hmm
2 of them are going to have the Now Network TV as the profile picture. I'm locked out thanks to Facebook. Okay, so they locked me out of those. Okay, I'm with my username and password. I'm not allowed in. Gee, I wonder why. So the 3rd page, just look and you'll see it's active. You'll see a current date where there's activity. Go there and send a message. My scheduling coordinator, she's such a wonderful person. Her name is Clarice. She handles my schedule and my billing and all that. She is volunteering her time. And we have hundreds of people that still haven't even been vetted yet. They just keep coming and coming and coming. And she will send you like instructions on how to volunteer, find out what state you're involved in, that you want to represent. She'll send you the information. There is an NDA for the bill because it's not just being handed out to anybody.
right.
Okay, it's protected and it's respected.
Mhm.
And you can't download it, you can't alter it, you can't share it. You have to send them to us to get the NDA. That's why you'd sign it for no other reason. And then we get you to your consecutive state. And then then there's like instructions each day in our little private group chats on what to do today. Is it to call this one? Is it to call that one? Whatever it is to do. Then we've got people just kind of like in their own gifts of what they're really good at. They can
hmm
either be making videos, or they could be calling Congress members, or they could be whatever it is. And we have this going on all the time. Like right now, it's like 24/7. Just that's what we're doing. We're bringing
Wow.
everybody in, and we're going to kick some ass in Washington D.C. like it's never been kicked. So
Right. Well,
sorry,
it does say we the people.
we the people, not we the judges.
No, yeah, it's
We the people.
and it's about time. It's very sad what has happened to our kids. I have a quick story. You want to hear it or not?
I do,
Okay, so
I do.
um of course I was a non-custodial parent at the time. And the youngest was driving and got into a car accident. But everybody's fine, thank God, right? But the middle one shows up. And state police were there, the fire department was there. You know how everybody shows up. The ambulance was there, but it was
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah. And thank God.
So the middle one went up to the state trooper and told him to F off. The trooper told him to stand down. And I don't
Oh,
know, I mean, like, I wasn't there. I did not, I'm hearing
yeah,
this.
yeah.
Okay. So then 15 minutes later, the middle one approaches the state trooper and tells him again to F off. So the trooper said, leave the scene. I guess he said, leave the scene now. And that, when I heard this, it's like, had I raised him, he would not be
That would have
behaving.
never been the case. He would
So
have never
I,
just, yeah.
right. So I called the state police barracks and I said, who was the trooper on? I just want to tell him something that I truly
Yeah.
apologize. And he said, well, he's
What a,
not on right now, but I can give him a message. So I told him the whole story. And I
Mhm.
said I did not get to raise these boys appropriately because I
And
would
I'm
have raised
sorry.
them with manners, and I want to apologize to that state trooper. And he
Mhm.
was so happy to hear that. And I
Mhm.
told him, I said, these kids were taken away from me by Judge Robert Sambrook. The case was rigged.
Yeah.
So none of this would have happened, and none of my kids would talk to a state trooper like that.
You
These,
know, Maryann, like automatically that kid is having a trauma response. That's why the child is not defending the rebellion of it, okay? But that is what that is because they're so deeply wounded. They're so hurt and harmed that hurt turns into anger. pain turns into rebellion. Let's face it. So this is what these judges are doing to our children. Do we not have to come together and powerfully do what we're doing so that we can hold these judges accountable so that what happened to you doesn't happen to another child or family? This
Right.
has to stop. So yes, if you raise them, if you left, I know this I experienced it too. And I know, thank God, mine was 8 months, but the damages are done. I can see it in my child at 17. Okay. And he's a wonderful kid and he's intelligent, but it's the same thing like with you. What that does is it interrupts the flow of proper parenting, okay, and protection and so on and so forth, which allows for the children to become healthier, more respectful, and better products of this country, right?
Right.
Without all this mental health issues and so on and so forth, substance abuse, and you name it. So,
Right.
and that was awesome that you did that, but do they even understand what these judges are doing to these children? They're creating, maybe not in that specific place, but in so many cases, they're creating the juvenile delinquent. They love that because they can get your generation and the next generation and the next generation. It's demonic.
Right.
It is.
Oh, yeah, and they're creating personality disorders within what you just said, because right now I really don't know my kids at all.
I know.
A lot of parents don't realize. In fact, I talked to a parent called me and I said, okay, so you're just entering family court. I said, you do know the judge will not look at any evidence. And this parent yelled, just screamed on the phone, like, what? Not yelling at me, but just like in
right, like
horror.
in shock, in horror. Yeah. It's sick. That's no due process, no evidentiary hearing. Then what are we doing here? What is this place? Kangarooville, USA. You can't even call it kangaroo court because it's not a court. It's just I don't know. You name it. It's not. It's whacked out.
Yes.
Right now.
Yeah.
And the bill covers it all. The bill covers. And what I'm so confident about this bill is that it would be the people that are coming. Okay. There will be a revolution because if they don't sign it into law, if they don't do it, because everything in it is lawful, it is our law. It's just enforcing everything. It's stopping the abuse and the treason. Okay, so there's no reason to not enact this because it's everything that they're doing that's a direct violation of human rights, constitutional rights, the Constitution. Right. They're walking all over the Constitution and we're allowing it for decades. What are we, crazy? We must be crazy. But how do they get away with it? How do they get away with it, Maryann? They destroy each person individually and then corporately. They weaken you so much. That's why you need faith so that you're not beaten down. And you know what I'm saying? And even when you're fragile and broken, greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world, right? Okay. When I am weak, he is strong. So we go in and we go in with the authority that we were given in our Constitution to turn this over. Okay, I know I've had enough of it. I've had enough of it.
Yeah, I definitely. So, not to sound stupid, because I know, like when you gave me the bill weeks and weeks and weeks, or even maybe it was a month and a half ago.
It was right I gave it to you like immediately when I first.
Right, and then I know you've revised it. So we're getting rid of family court totally, or is it going to be refurbished? I don't like the word.
If it was up to me, because I don't even like the word reform. If it was up to me, I'm the abolish arrest girl, if you remember.
Yeah, so same.
If it was up to me, yes, of course, I would have it. But I can't even say on here. I want you to keep your show.
Oh yeah, I know.
but I know that I know my limits. Being as part of in my bill, I have something that I do that's called alternative to family courts. And smart parents that are both good, one's not an abuser, they would never walk into a family court. And an abuser takes you to family court. Let's face it.
Right.
Okay. No, normal people don't even want to do that. And if they do, they want to go together thinking that that's the only way we have. And then the family court gets in there and just destroys two people that do get along, right? Because it's evil. So I have alternative family court, which worked really well. We kind of like look at the family situation and maybe they're not going to be together as a couple, but how do we make this work the most holistically for the family and to save everything, not just their children, but their assets and their vacations and their businesses or their home or whatever it may be. So with that, I've incorporated that into the bill. So there's an alternative. Okay. And we have community accountability, no longer anything that's attached to the court. So there's that. Okay. But on the other side of that, unfortunately, I doubt they're going to say bye-bye to family court completely. So we monkey wrenched them so well, held them accountable so well, stripped them of their power, that's pseudo power, false power, so well that at least now people will not be destroyed on the level that they are when they do unfortunately have to enter family court. Hopefully in this process, we're educating enough people that they're not going to go that route anymore, and that the abuser is now stripped of his power, that he no longer can continue to take you and torture you and keep your children from you.
What about these parasitic guardian ad litems, the third party parasites?
I love the way you put it. I love the way you put it, because they're all trained to destroy you. They're all trained to work for the abuser, right? And the same thing with the child attorneys, same difference, okay? We go after them all the way through. I mean, there's a whole section on guardian ad litems and child attorneys. And the fact that, I don't know if you're aware of this, it's in the bill, okay, so if you have an attorney, you as an adult, the child attorney or guardian ad litem is supposed to, and some guardian ad litems are certified bar members and others are not. Okay, but let's talk about just the ones that are certified bar members. They're supposed to follow the Bar Association ethics, which is a joke because it says it right in there. It says it right in there very clearly, the British Accreditation Registry, which I go after, by the way, in my bill. Like I said, I didn't leave anything out. The Bar Association clearly says that they don't really work for you. So if you get a free one, or if you're paying $1,000 an hour, they admit that they're not working for you, they're working for the court. So that's first of all. Okay, but let's just act like they really care about you. Okay.
Yeah.
So the child attorney is supposed to be equivalent to and zealously represent the child the same way an adult attorney is supposed to represent you. Correct. Now we know that they don't do that. They're supposed to respond to you within 48 hours as well when you have a question. They don't do that. Okay?
No.
Okay. So with saying that, when you report a child attorney, and I've had kids report a child attorney, when you report a child attorney to the committee that's supposed to oversee the child attorneys, they tell you in every state, hold on to your seat. Oh, I'm sorry, we can't do anything about that, even though it's complete misconduct, even though it's complete malfeasance and all that, whatever they're doing that's completely wrong. Okay, if it was an attorney, you'd get them off your case and you could hire somebody else or have a new one appointed, because those are your legal rights. But a child attorney who doesn't show up in court with you, by the way, because we know they all lie for the child. Oh, the child's leg is falling off, but the child's doing great in this home. Lies, right? The child, but when you report them to these committees for child attorneys or gals, they say, I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do right now until the case is over. Oh my God, that's so infuriating, because until the case is over, and usually these cases last till they're 18. Let's face it, once they got you. So until the case is over, so you're telling me that you're going to continue to allow this bar member, certified bar member, because they're not licensed, certified bar member, you're going to continue to allow them to practice law illegally the way they are, and all this, so on and so forth. Yeah, we can't do anything about it. Well, why can't you? They never give you an answer. They never give you an answer because there's no legal reason for why they can't deal with that person and do what they need to do.
Right.
I've had children fire their own attorneys that are appointed by the courts, and they refuse to let them off. But they have a legal right, starting from the Articles of Human Rights, from the day they're born up until the time they're appointed an attorney. They have a legal right to fire that attorney, and the courts won't allow them to.
Oh, yeah.
So that's all in the bill. That's not going to be anymore. Done. Completely done.
Yeah, because really, this can be done in a short amount of time. Okay, so if let's look at the Natalia Dalton case that I've covered. Okay, so she's got, a personality disorder running the courtroom, and it's not even the judge.
No, it's the husband, or the ex-boyfriend, or whatever he was.
Yeah, what is, she doesn't even know where her child is. Why is she
sick? Right. Why? Sick. Let me tell you, he's in charge of, oops, sorry. He's in charge of, somebody just sent me something, sorry. He is in charge of who can supervise her to visit her child.
Yes.
How sick is that? You talk about, there's my proof that they are pro-abuser. He's a sick person. Okay?
Oh, yes. Right.
He's in charge of, and I can't tell you how many of them I've got. I can't even begin to tell you. I've sat in meetings with families with their therapists, and the therapist talked to me after, going, I don't know what to do about him. He's just, I don't even know what to do. Like, but anyway, he's in charge of, he supervises her and denies every single one of them.
Yes, he does.
So I've
Yes.
actually sent her independent, supervised, mediators and so on throughout the country. We even got one in Canada one time. He just denies and denies. Now, a normal judge, not that there are any, would say, how dare you?
Mhm.
And she should have won full custody back after that abuse.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
this poor woman, what she's been through,
Right.
I can't wait to bring her before Congress the third week of October, because she's going to get her voice finally heard.
Oh, definitely. Because I think if you're not given access to your child, especially like in her
No, that's
case,
just beyond sick. And she doesn't deserve to be supervised. For what reason? She doesn't reach the criteria.
no,
But you
no,
say it's not the judge, but Maryann, it is the judge. It is the judge.
it
Because
is
he's
right.
a sociopathic sicko, and the judge is allowing it. The judge
Right.
court ordered it. The judge gave all that unchecked power to this abuser.
Nutcase. Yes.
So what are they doing? They're what are they doing? They're enabling and helping abusers. They're
Right.
empowering them. They're empowering them.
And destroying the child. I don't know what has been put in that kid's head.
Oh, poor boy. That poor boy.
Right.
That poor boy.
So why is she paying child support on a kid? You don't know where this kid is, and she's not allowed to see this kid. So why are the parents putting up?
I want you to know, when you're bringing up child support, I think it's down on the bottom of the
Yeah.
bill. I go after debtor's prison, which we know is illegal. I've heard you talk about that before.
Yeah.
I go after debtor's prison, and I go after taking a license from somebody. Why would you do that? If they need to get to work and pay child support, now you're
Right.
going to take away their way to get to work. Like, this is mad science. And then I go after not being able to take child support from a person with a disability that's getting SSI. How are they going to eat? So I go after that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just abuse. More
Right.
abuse.
Right. I know. I believe Robert Garza was also going after them for the driver's license issue too. I mean, but there's also other licenses that, like if you're an insurance agent, they can take that license.
Yeah.
What? I
Yeah.
mean, this is set
Yeah.
up to fail.
I actually I think it was Natalia that they went after her passport.
Yes, yeah, because I had my passport yanked, because I'm so dangerous.
You might be a flight risk leaving without your children. That
Right,
makes a lot of
right.
sense.
Oh
Where's she gonna
man.
go? I can't go now. What are you doing?
Right. I mean, it's like I finally got it back, but I'm just saying it just it, this is demonic. I hate to.
Demonic. It's demonic. It's a counterfeit of the real court, the court of heaven. It's a counterfeit of that. It's demonic. It's demonic. There's no question about it. That's actually, I mean, on a spiritual sense, that's what I put in my second book, I Survived a Narcissist, You Can Too. It's a really good book. It's only 44 pages. I even send it to people for free if they can't afford it. It's not even expensive, but I'll send it because it actually has a prayer in there. It actually talks about why this legal demonic door is opened in the first place.
Mhm.
Because we have to be accountable for what we do. Like, I do believe in sin, and there's sin in the world, and it's not to beat people down like, oh my God, you just had horrible things happen, it's because of you. It's not meant that way. It when you read it, people tell me they get so much healing from the book, from reading that book. Okay. And there's a prayer at the end. And I've had people that I don't even know saying, oh my gosh, I read the book and I feel like a weight was lifted off of me.
Mhm.
So, praying and repenting of our sin and what allowed this legal door, because I don't believe God wants this by any means,
Right.
but the enemy does have a right to us if we don't repent, without getting too deep on people that may not understand that.
Right.
And then God can bless. And I do see the blessings. Man, do I see the blessings, I got to tell you. So.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I know what you're saying that, it's the judge is the one causing this. The judge is allowing Natalia's ex to run.
100.
Actually, that judge should be embarrassed that she's allowing this guy. I would be so embarrassed as a judge. I'd be like, sit down. But,
That's why I say they're pro-abuser. Why would that? They're pro-abuser.
what
How do
what
you
about
sit there and watch this poor woman come into court and find fault in her? Just find fault in her. What did she do? She's not on drugs. She's not a criminal. She's never abused a child. Why is she being supervised? So I still don't have an answer, and I've asked a million times. We don't know why she's being supervised. She doesn't fit any of the criteria. So, and on top of it, to make matters worse, why is she being supervised, and why isn't she being supervised? In other words, she's ordered to be supervised, but she doesn't get access to the child with supervision either. Nothing.
Right. Ah, I feel so bad for her.
And she's
Um,
not an isolated case, Maryann. There's
I
one,
know.
she's one of millions of families. So all of you need to come with me so we
Right.
can turn the tables. Let's turn the tables. Enough is enough.
Right.
Enough is enough. We don't have to tolerate this. We don't have to tolerate this. Okay?
Right. I mean, I would, it's amazing. I can't wait for this to happen at the end of, because I love the month of October.
Oh,
So
good.
you're gonna have to keep me posted
Oh, you betcha. Are you
on
kidding? You
all
were one of
of
the
this.
first people. You were one of the first people the second I was ready to start, introducing it, I said, I got a hold of you, Maryann. So,
Oh, yeah, because I mean, I'm glad we talked now because like when you sent it to me, I thought, oh, I bet it's gonna get revised here and there,
oh, hell no. Oh,
you
hell
know.
no.
Well,
No.
I mean, because I didn't know if you might add something or add more
Oh,
to it.
meaning that way. I thought you meant like before Congress. Oh, no. Yes, I've been making some revisions. So basically I had the whole thing, but I've been making some revisions like, oh, let's add this and let's change, like nothing's changed, nothing's removed, but I have been adding some tweaking.
Right. I
Some
was gonna,
tweaking. And then I had to have, because I do handle these type of cases, but the expert is Terry Lapointe. So Terry Lapointe, I sent her my perspective of medical kidnap, which is a huge issue in this country and probably worse in Arizona for one of the worst states for that. But
uh-huh.
and I had Terry Lapointe fix that for me, perfect that for me, add in the right language for that, and then I gave her author credit for that.
Right.
So we have a whole section on medical kidnap, which is very dangerous. I
Oh,
mean,
yes.
you're doing, you know.
Yes. Oh, I agree. I mean, I'm glad you popped on. And how else can people find you and your books?
Well, the books are all on Amazon. If you just put my name in, Francesca Amato Banfield, they'll pop up. Um, the to be a part of the federal bill initiative, just find me on Facebook, Francesca Amato. Make sure you find the active page. Like I said, I locked out of pages on Facebook. Tell your friends, every victim you know, and if you want to represent a state, we'll be happy to get you started. And every Wednesday night, we have a 7:30 p.m. Eastern time Zoom meeting that's open to the public. The bill is not open to the public. The bill is by NDA only with very strict rules around it. And I will enforce those if I have to because it's that serious. We don't
Right.
want certain groups getting, they can't do anything majorly, but I still don't want it because it's not my first rodeo. Okay, we'll put it
Right.
that way. And I'm not going to deal with nonsense from nonsense. I just won't.
Right.
So, and we need to be all. I mean, for the most part, we've got hundreds of parents all across the country that are all getting along phenomenally, and we are pushing forward. So come join us and do that. The
Mhm.
more the better. Definitely, the more the better. And when we get before Congress, we need them to see, holy crap! Look at this room. Look at these people. Oh my gosh, we can't say no to this. Okay, and we will
Right.
not let them say no. We will not let them not even say maybe. No, 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 no. They're going to say yes, and we're going to make
Right.
sure together that they say yes. Okay.
Oh, I agree. Thank you so much for coming on and keep me posted on everything.
Definitely.
Okay, well, hey, don't jump off.
I won't.
Slam the Gavel is a podcast to help the public understand what really goes on in these courtrooms. I'm your host, Maryann Petri. You can find me on Spotify, YouTube. Please like and subscribe, Apple iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, okay, Google, and other platforms I don't know about. Again, feel free to buy me a coffee to help keep this podcast going. Thank you, Francesca Amato, for all your hard work. Thank you.
Thank you, Maryann, so much. Big hugs.
Thank
And
you.
you know that I'll keep you posted for sure.
Definitely. Thank you.
Thank you.